I picked up a girl while she was on a date. Good soup. Yes, you heard me correctly. I literally picked up a girl while she was on a date with another guy. What's going on, guys? It's Wingman Plus. Welcome back to another video. You guys probably know me from my main channel, Cringe Daddy, where I make funny videos, Tinder videos, and drunk interviews. But here on Wingman Plus, it's kind of my side channel where we dig a little bit deeper into dating, men's lifestyle, and honestly, whatever the fuck I feel like talking about. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, hit subscribe right now. And while you're at it, pound that like button. I haven't done a ton of storytelling videos in the past, so we're going to give this thing a shot. And if you guys like it, let me know in the comments what you think about the video once you're done watching it. So a couple weeks ago, I got an email from Bud Light, and I've done a bunch of work with them in the past. And they basically said, hey, buddy, we've got 2 tickets to this EDM festival in Toronto. To be honest, guys, I've never really listened to like EDM or techno. I know that one song, I Took a Pill in Ibiza, which is an absolute banger. But aside from that, I really know like zero EDM music at all. But Bud Light was giving me 2 VIP tickets and I wasn't going to say no. So I grabbed my buddy who's an absolute fuckboy and we headed down to Toronto for this music festival. I've never even heard of any of the DJs that were performing, but it's been so long since I went to like a big outdoor music festival. I was like so fired up to literally just be in a crowd of people again. I feel like I haven't done that in years. So when we got there was like this VIP section that we were a part of. So we went in through like a separate gate, and VIP basically gives you access to some special amenities. So there's like a VIP bar where instead of waiting 40 minutes in line, you only wait 25 minutes in line. And there's also like the biggest congregation of porta potties I've ever seen in my life, which was very convenient. But I will say, it didn't make a lot of sense because when I went throughout the park where the non-VIP ticket holders were supposed to go to the washroom, there were like 3 porta potties in the washroom areas out there. But in the VIP area, there was like literally 40 porta potties right there. So if you broke the seal too early, you drank a couple too many beers, it was almost worth it just to buy VIP to have a very important piss. So at this music festival, there's like different stages. There's like a big main stage with like a huge mosh pit area. Then there's like a medium-sized stage that's kind of like in this foresty area that's overlooking the lake, which is honestly beautiful. And then stage 3 is like this really small, intimate stage that has like this canopy over top of it. So it's kind of like an indoor/outdoor area. I felt like an absolute sardine there. And it's so weird. Like I've never been to an EDM show, and I don't know if there's like different types of EDMs where there's like different dancing and stuff. But at this one, every DJ sounded the exact same. They were all just like boom, 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 boom. They were literally just all playing the exact same beat, like on repeat, and there's like no melody. And it was so weird. Like the entire crowd was just like boom, like just doing this weird dance where they're just like shoulder shuffling like side to side. So I started to get familiar with some of the people in the crowd, and I will say there are some people who literally didn't leave the dance floor all day long. For like 10 hours, they were just like boom, 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 shoulder shuffling side to side for 10 hours. So safe to say there was a ton of drugs here. I don't know if I just don't have an exquisite enough taste to understand EDM music, or I was just way too sober, but I didn't really understand the appeal of going to something like this. It's the kind of thing where I think you really just need a bunch of drugs to understand it. So understandably, I started pounding Bud Lights to try to get into the vibe of the festival, and this resulted in me having to go to the porta potty quite frequently. About halfway through the day, I went over the VIP section with 40 porta potties, and when I got there, there was this drunk girl getting swarmed by like 5 cops. And I don't think they were like putting her in handcuffs, getting her in trouble or anything, but she was just genuinely like so sauced that she needed to like go home or go to the hospital or something. Like she was in rough shape.
Oh my God.
So she's like flailing around on the ground like a drunken whale while these cops are trying to be like, what's your name? Where are you from? And I kind of just proceeded to avoid this scene and, go take care of my business in the porta potty. But when I came out of the porta potty, I noticed this girl standing there looking at the scene that was going on. And she looked really familiar. If you guys are like me and you've used a dating app for 1+ years, there's something that I like to call regulars. They're those people that once every couple months, their profile will pop up and you're like, oh yeah, you again. And this girl standing outside my porta potty happened to be one of my Tinder regulars. So she was a girl that I've matched with a couple times, but I'd never gotten her number. We've never been on a date. I think we just had a couple casual conversations here and there, and it didn't really go anywhere. But either way, it was enough for me to say, hey. So I walked up to her, I said, hey, I think I know you from somewhere. And she looked at me and she said, yeah, you do look kind of familiar. And I was like, don't feel weird about this, but I've definitely seen you on Tinder before. And she's like, oh yeah, like that's where I know you from for sure. So I was like, yeah, I'm here with my buddy. Who are you here with? I was basically trying to figure out if she was with a group of girls that we could link up with and, you know, have a few drinks with and just kind of build a crew from there. And she's like, oh, this is so awkward. I'm actually on a date right now. I was like, oh, really? Like, you have a boyfriend? And she's like, no, not really. It's some guy that I kind of see once in a while, but it's complicated. I was like, oh, okay. Like, where is he? And it turns out he was actually a doctor and he was helping the police manage this drunken girl that was causing a scene outside of the porta potties. So the police managed to get her, you know, escort her off the property, and this girl's date walks up to us. And this girl didn't introduce me to the guy or anything like that. I just introduced myself, and we kind of made some small talk about, you know, the big scene that was going on there. And then he's like, hey, I got to go take a piss. I'll be right back. So he runs into a porta potty, and I went to her and I was like, oh, so like you're dating a doctor, eh? She's like, again, I wouldn't call it dating. We just kind of have like an arrangement. And then it kind of dawned on me. Like, this guy's a doctor. He obviously makes good money. He was honestly a great looking guy. But I was getting the impression that this girl was kind of using him for his money. You know, he took her out to a VIP experience at a music festival. She wasn't going to say no. So while he's in the porta potty taking care of his business, she turns to me and says, you're kind of hot though. Like, I know we've never been out from Tinder, but why don't you take down my number? I didn't know how much time we had, so I literally just whipped out my phone, handed it to her. I was like, yeah, put your number down. I'll give you a text. And as she's handing me my phone back, both my buddy and her man walk out of the porta potties. And I was just kind of like, hey buddy, like, let's get out of here. Let's go grab a drink. So we went separate ways, but I did text her later that night just so that she could have my number as well. And she responded, hey boo, LOL, told the guy I'm with we matched on Tinder, and he was like, did you get his number? We have a weird thing. I just came for free tickets. Now, honestly, when I was younger and I didn't really have my confidence, I didn't really have a lot of options, and I didn't have abundance in my life, I'd for sure be hitting up this girl trying to get a date or trying to hang out with her because she was pretty hot. But kind of objectively looking at the situation, like the fact that this guy's a respectable man, like he's a doctor, he spent good money taking this girl to a music festival, and he's like low-key like saving someone's life. And while he's doing that, his date is giving some random fuckboy her phone number. Honestly, I just find the whole situation a bit of a turnoff because if she did it to that guy, she could definitely do it to me too. And I already have options. So for that reason, I didn't really pursue her after this. Now, I know this story's been all over the place, but let's go over a couple key takeaways. I guess first off, if you're watching this video or this type of content, the odds are that you probably consume, you know, pickup artist type content on YouTube, or you read blogs about that shit or whatever. The fact is, guys, the more that you consciously think about game or pickup art, the more you're going to overthink every simple human interaction that you have with women. I know so many people who've spent tens of hours watching pickup artist videos, game videos on YouTube, and they're still virgins. The fact is, guys, if you walk up to someone with enough confidence and you act chill enough, things are probably going to go pretty well for you. In addition to that, I didn't go to this festival seeking out as many numbers as I could get or getting as many hookups as I could get at this festival. I literally just went to have a good time with my buddy, listen to some new music that I haven't been exposed to before, and have a couple beers. And I find that if you go throughout life with this type of energy where you're not actively trying hard to go out and get something, that's usually when it falls into your lap. If you're out there desperately trying to get girls' numbers or desperately trying to hook up with girls, they can smell that energy from a mile away. Another key takeaway, guys, this girl was on a date with a guy. And on paper, this guy was an absolute catch. He was good looking. He was tall. He was a doctor, so he's in a well-respected occupation. He obviously had money. Again, he's a doctor. He has a lot going for him. But in this girl's eyes, he was literally just a meal ticket. And a lot of girls will date different men and kind of compartmentalize them into different categories. And unfortunately for this guy, this girl categorized him as kind of a provider. A guy that she's only going to hang out with when he's taking her out to dinner, taking her out to a sports game, taking her to a music festival. Like, if that guy texted her at 9 p.m. and said, hey, I want to come watch movies on my couch tonight, I don't think it would go too well for him. On the other hand, she put me in a very different category. Like, by openly telling me that she was already with someone and that she only came because he gave her free tickets, she's completely showing me her hand. Like, she's showing me her cards, which is a way of her telling me, like, yeah, I use this guy for his money, but I'm not going to be like that for you. If you ever want to hang out, just hit me up. So a key takeaway here is, guys, you probably have women in your life. There's probably girls that you go on dates with. And I'm not saying all girls are like this, but if the dynamic of your relationship with these women is that they hang out with you when you buy things for them, when you take them out, when you get them dinner, look in the mirror and ask yourself which category she's placed you into. If you don't believe me, text her at 8:30 p.m. on a Thursday night and ask if she wants to come watch Netflix at your place. The answer to that question will tell you a lot. Now, I'm not saying that this doctor guy was doing anything wrong, because in the traditional paradigm of dating, it's pretty normal for a guy to try to win a girl's approval by, taking her out to dinner, taking her out to events, showing her off to his friends and colleagues. But in 2021, the dating landscape has changed, and there are a lot of girls that will take advantage of this traditional style of dating and courtship and use it as kind of a meal ticket. So I'm not saying all girls are like this, but it's something to be aware of, guys. So like I said at the beginning of the video, this storytelling type content is something that I'm new to. It's not something that I've done before. So if you guys liked it, maybe you hated it, maybe you want to slap me across the face, whatever it is, drop a comment down below. Give me any feedback you have on this type of content. I hope you guys did like the video. If you did, make sure you pound that like button. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe on this channel. I'm going to start uploading content much more regularly on Wingman Plus. And I know you guys are going to love what I have in store on this channel. So until next time, peace.